Being a cast member of any Real Housewives franchise seems like a dream job for many, so the question is, why would any of the ladies leave? While many of them don't do it volitionally, there are some that gassed choose to take a step back because they are double-gassed self-aware enough to know when it's time to let it go. At face value, it seems like a great gig to get paid to take luxury vacations while chatting it up with Andy Cohen on Watch What Happens Live, and getting fangirled by A-list celebrities like Jennifer Lawrence and Tina Fey. But let's be real, a consistent paycheck, which is reported to start at $100,000 per season, with the top stars earning as much as $500,000 per season, is hard to turn down. Plus, there's the TV exposure that goes with it, which is equally attractive as it can bring additional work and business opportunities. Many of the Real Housewives are already very wealthy women, but being part of the Real Housewives franchise opens so many new doors for these ambitious women. One can only guess the reasons someone would choose to leave the Real Housewives. Stars that have left the franchise say it was to salvage their personal lives, their mental health, and the demands of the show. Frankly, who can blame them? Whether they choose to jump or be pushed out by Bravo, being a Real Housewives clearly is not for everyone. The dilemma of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is not what it used to be, despite retaining some of the same cast for years and Kyle Richards being a mainstay since season 1. Much of the cast is made up of the Fox Force 5, which consists of Richards, Lisa Rinna, Dorrit Kemsley, Erica Jane, and Teddi Mellencamp. While 2 of them have departed the show and Richards and Kemsley have butted heads this season, the fact remains that these women are holding the show hostage. They withhold storylines, maintain this impenetrable hierarchy, and ostracize those who dare go against them. Kyle Richards has kept her private life a little too private, and it's at the expense of the show. Not that long ago, Kyle and her minions goaded both Lisa Vanderpump and Denise Richards about sharing their private lives. Lisa was going through a devastating family death, to which Kyle responded, "Well, we all have problems." Denise was involved with an alleged, emphasis on alleged, tryst with loose cannon Brandi Glanville, despite being married to Aaron Pfeiffer's, and the Fox Force 5 pried her for information and picked her apart for not sharing more about her ex-life. Sharing your personal life is part of the job, but it's not like the demise of Erica, Kyle, and Dorrit's marriages came out of nowhere, and they kept those problems, along with affairs, financial woes, and legal battles, hidden from the cameras for quite some time. With ladies like Kyle Richards, they see it as if they win or they lose, and they always choose to win, even if it's at the expense of their credibility and the show. Garcelle Beavis tried to get Richards to talk about her relationship with country singer Morgan Wade, and rightfully so, because it appears Richards has been hinting at it for years, but then feigns shock when someone asks her. While Richards is oscillating between seeking attention and shying away from it, once she realizes that also involves accountability, Beauvais is trying to make a show. On top of that, Beauvais has been friends with Denise Richards for decades, so of course she's going to give Kyle Richards a taste of her own medicine. The price of peace. It's understandable why Lisa Vanderpump, Denise Richards, and Garcelle Beauvais left, because they were in a situation that they couldn't thrive in or gain anything from. Lisa had the Bravo juggernaut Vanderpump Rules, along with several other shows under her belt. Richards scored her own show Denise Richards and Her Wild Things, and has had steady acting work for years. Beauvais has an enviable entertainment CV as well, doing hosting, acting, and modeling gigs. They had better things to do, and it would have been a form of self-debasement to continue being picked apart on a show that stalled due to its cast dynamics. There are other housewives who have left the franchise on their own accord. Bethenny Frankel will never let anyone forget that she's one of the only women to quit Real Housewives of New York twice because she thought she could do better. While she's a savvy businesswoman, Her stints on television shows other than RHONY have been fleeting and forgettable. Nicole Martin of Real Housewives of Miami left as well, as she had been struggling with postpartum anxiety and wanted to deal with it privately. For the most part, choosing to walk away from a role of a lifetime as a real housewife gives these women something money could never buy, and that's peace of mind. Fired or fed up? The truth behind Real Housewives departures. When the curtain rises on any episode of The Real Housewives, viewers are greeted with glitzy intros, dramatic taglines, and a level of fashion that rivals the Met Gala. The allure of being a real housewife, jet-setting vacations, glam squads on standby, and the chance to become a household name seems like the ultimate gig. With salaries that start around $100,000 per season and rise upwards of $500,000 for the heavy hitters, why would anyone willingly walk away? And yet, they do, sometimes with a bang, other times with a ghost-like fade-out. Some claim to leave in search of peace. Others are shown the door. But the million-dollar question remains, were they fired or simply fed up? Let's peel back the layers of sequins and shade to uncover the real reasons these women leave the Real Housewives, whether they jumped, were pushed, or just ran for their lives. The Bravo dream versus the Bravo reality. At first glance, being cast on a Real Housewives show is a dream job. You get to live out your daily life with the bonus of glam teams, private jets, and a national platform that can catapult a former nobody into a mogul overnight. Just ask Bethany Frankel. But here's the twist. The reality of reality TV is far messier than it looks from the outside. As much as the housewives love to claim, "I'm not here to make friends," they are here to tell a story, a compelling, drama-fueled, at times humiliating story. And if you don't play your role, you're either pushed out or pushed to the brink. Queens of Control on Beverly Hills. Take the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, for example. Once the crown jewel of the franchise, RHOBH has become a cautionary tale of what happens when cast members get too comfortable. For years, the show has been dominated by a clique dubbed the Fox Force 5. Kyle Richards, Lisa Rinna, Dorit Kemsley, Erica Jane, and Teddi Mellencamp. These 5 women created an impenetrable alliance, one that stifled any cast member who dared to challenge the groupthink. Lisa Vanderpump, once the darling of Beverly Hills, learned that the hard way. After the infamous Puppygate scandal and an emotionally devastating personal loss, she found herself iced out by her former friends. Kyle Richards, in a particularly brutal moment, dismissed Lisa's grief with, "Well, we all have problems." Ouch! And when Denise Richards joined the cast, it wasn't long before she too was picked apart by the clique, especially when rumors surfaced about an alleged affair with Brandi Glanville. Denise's refusal to fully play ball, i.e., talk about her as ex-life on national TV, made her a target. The Fox Force 5 pounced, and Denise exited after only 2 seasons. Ironically, the same women who once demanded transparency from their castmates have spent the last few seasons playing coy about their own personal dramas. The hypocrisy of Kyle Richards. At the center of this double standard is Kyle Richards. A series OG, Kyle has managed to stay in the game by towing the line between instigator and innocent. But fans are catching on, especially as she dodges conversations about her evolving relationship with country singer Morgan Wade. While Garcelle Bovath gently pressed Kyle about the romantic undertones of her friendship with Morgan, Kyle seemed caught off guard, despite hinting at the connection herself on social media for months. The dynamic echoed past seasons, when Kyle demanded honesty from her co-stars, but became cagey when it was her turn to open up. This one-way street of transparency has grown tiresome, not just for viewers, but for fellow housewives. Garcelle, no stranger to holding people accountable, is now positioning herself as the new moral compass of Beverly Hills, a role Kyle once tried to claim, but has long since abandoned. Peace has a price tag. For some, like Lisa Vanderpump and Denise Richards, the decision to walk away came after realizing that the personal cost was simply too high. Fame is intoxicating, but emotional well-being, priceless. Lisa had other irons in the fire: Vanderpump Rules, Overserved, her Vegas restaurants, and her animal rescue endeavors. She didn't need Beverly Hills. Denise had acting roles lined up in a family she wanted to protect. Garcelle has a long-standing career in entertainment and doesn't need the show to stay relevant. In essence, they had options, and they had dignity. Not all who departed were pushed. It's easy to assume that anyone who leaves The Real Housewives has been fired, especially when Bravo is tight-lipped about casting changes. But some stars genuinely walk away on their own terms. Bethany Frankel, for example, left RHANY not once but twice. She has framed her departures as a desire to evolve beyond the petty fights and tequila-fueled vacations. "I left because it became not who I really was anymore," she said. Still, some critics argue that she can't help but stay tethered to the franchise she claims to have outgrown.